Hello, my name is Jodi Low, and this is the Leadership Lowdown, powered by the BBB and You and Improved. The Leadership Lowdown cuts through the clutter and gets to the heart of what makes businesses tick. We want to share the stories that matter to you, all of the successes and triumphs and all of the pitfalls, and everything that happens in between. So with that, let's get on to today's show.
Well, welcome to the Leadership Lowdown. I am so excited because I get to sit across from actually a newer friend of mine, but we get to collaborate here and there throughout the BBB. Welcome, Joe Ducey, to the Leadership Lowdown.
Glad to be here.
Okay, so I have to ask about the title first and foremost. I had to actually write it down, as you know. Assistant Vice President of Investigative Outreach, which sounds so super cool. So tell us what you do at the BBB for those that don't already know of your amazing
I always
podcast.
say I'm with the BBB. They ask for a title, I'm like, I don't even know what it means.
Yeah, you're like, I don't even know.
No,
We're just going to go with it.
I have taken my experience as a broadcast reporter and kind of bring it to the BBB. I've known Matt for a while, and I thought that we could really lead consumers away from some of the bad practices and scams that are going on there right now and lead them to the good businesses that are vetted.
Yeah.
They're ABs, accredited businesses here with the BBB.
Yep.
And that's what I'm doing. So I'm doing podcasts and videos.
Love it. Love it. So take us down a little trip down memory lane. So how did you get into broadcasting originally? Where did that start? Where did the career launch? All that
It all
good stuff.
started in a small station, a 5,000 watt radio station in Illinois. No, I'm kidding. It's like,
WKRP in Cincinnati.
Yeah. Actually, it was something that I liked through high school, but we didn't have an outlet for it. And it started when I applied for a job in school for a newspaper job, and I actually got it as a reporter.
Okay.
Became news editor of our little paper. It was called the Illinois State Daily Vidette.
Oh, nice.
Circulation 19,000, something like that. All students who just barely, read it. And then I got into the program there and got an internship in Peoria. So I was in Peoria. I was in Austin, Texas, Scranton, Pennsylvania, Tampa, Florida. I was in Detroit, Michigan, San Francisco, and then came here.
Holy cow. So how long in the Valley now?
Been in the Valley since 2006.
Okay.
Worked at ABC 15, and most of the jobs were involving consumer investigative stuff. So I was able to knock on doors and get bad guys out and go after them, which is a lot of fun.
So fun.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah.
So been with the BBB now for a little while.
Yeah.
And tell us about that journey, because obviously a big piece of what you do, as mentioned, is really digging deep into how do we prevent people from falling into these traps and these scams. And, before we even got on camera, talking about how many creative avenues they have to nab you nowadays.
Yeah.
So
it's, it's easy because there's so many things. And the great thing about the BBB, I knew the BBB, and I think a lot of reporters in various markets know that they want to go to the BBB to get stories because they have all this, good scam stories. Yeah. I didn't know all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes. I didn't know about the committees that are set up, like the auto repair groups of experts who come in and look at complaints that can't be handled, and they decide things, or the air conditioning people who come in and do that, and the mediation, all the stuff that, you don't.
So much.
Yeah, I didn't really know about it. And, it seems like self-serving here, but that's true.
Yeah.
So I got here about a year and a half ago, and we decided that this was something that I think, because this scammers, it's not rich, poor. It's not where you are. They go after everybody.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of the equalizer.
Yeah. Equal opportunity scam.
Yeah.
Love it.
Equal opportunities. So I thought it was a good thing, and I know in my past when we were doing stories, many times when people got scammed, I hated to tell them, but they lost their money. They, you send cash, you wire it, you get out the back of scratch out the back of a gift card and give them that information. That money's gone.
Yeah.
You're not going to get it back. I hate to tell them that, but you're not. So how do you help these people? You stop them from getting into it in the first place. And that's kind of what I've been trying to do with the podcast and with the videos.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think it's so valuable, and they've gotten so good. I mean, it is really, really hard to decipher. And as attentive and on top of it and as aware as any of us can be, there's times where you really think it is your bank, or you really think it looks identical. And so you click on one wrong thing and you're
And I get my wife, get my kid, and they're always, hey, do you think this is real? I'm like, guys, come on. It's exactly the story I did. The video
did you not watch my podcast?
My stuff, you say you do, but I never see you liking anything I do.
Well, it's true. They're good.
Yes,
they're really, really good.
They are. And you were talking about one. I think I'm going to talk to you about it.
Yeah. I mean, this one that's saying, you need to pay this, payment, and it's past due. And I'm like, well, I actually do have an account with them. So now I'm really confused. And yeah.
That's the thing, because they go after, Bank of America is used a lot of times, a great bank, but they are used fraudulently by scammers. Anything very popular. It used to be Geek Squad with Best Buy. I used to get that stuff all the time, Geek Squad. And it was like, it's time to renew your subscription. And that's how they started. Time to renew your subscription. Now they're doing it. You've renewed your subscription, paid $500. If that's not you, give us a call if you want a refund. Then what they're doing is you're going to call. And I had one case. It actually involved the BBB. I don't know if you know about this. Oh, no, maybe you did hear this. Where a woman got involved in this thing, and she was supposed to get a refund. So they got her into this. However they do it, they got her to the system and made it look like she was in here, and she's supposed to put in the amount of the refund. She puts in 150, and there's a decimal point, 00. The decimal point leaves. It looks like she's trying to get a refund for $15,000. They say, "Oh my God, we just transferred $15,000 to your bank." She's like, "What? All I wanted was $150. That's what you told me to do." No, blah, blah. So it goes into all this stuff about trying to wire. She tried to wire the money to try to pay off this thing. Luckily, her bank said no, they wouldn't wire that amount of money. So the scammers say, take $4,000 out. That's the most you can give us, right? Per day out of the bank. Send it to us. She said no. What happened in the meantime is she got an email from the BBB that says, hey, you owe this amount of money. You need to pay it. Of course, it wasn't the BBB. We don't do that. That doesn't happen. But they were using us as a law enforcement agency. So she instead said, I'm not going to send it to scammers. She looked up the address for the BBB in San Diego, got the name of the person who was actually on the list, and sent it to him. So Michael, our lawyer, got a check for $15,000 from this woman saying, hey, here's what we owe. Thankfully, it happened that way. But that's what we're up against.
Yeah,
people, it's so real. It makes it seem so real that that's what happens. That people are losing thousands of dollars. In that scam, the same one, another person, $9,000, another person, $3,000, because they thought it was real. Yeah.
Wow. Like we were talking about before too, toll roads and all of these things. And you're like, well, gosh, I mean, I was in California. I did I? And so
yes,
you start to really
there.
question everything, but they can kind of follow where you are and what you're doing, and it looks so legitimate.
It is.
The other piece that I run into, and, my dad's 84, he's on his phone. He gets these things. What is your take on some of the more the seniors, the elderly population that they're not as adept at deciphering these things? Is there anything that you have like words of wisdom to help that generation?
Unfortunately, I think seniors are still targets, and I think it's because, and I've met a lot of savvy seniors, right? But I think there's a belief that one, they have more money. Two, they may be lonely. Their spouse may have died. And three, they're more gullible. They came from a time when it was a handshake, or it was a very, a nice and pleasant. They don't want to be mean to anybody, so they get a call. A lot of them still have landlines, which I would say right now, get rid of your landline. You don't need it. And I would say don't answer any of your calls. Let them all go to voicemail, because they'll leave a message if they're your prescriptions or your doctor, right? That's going to happen. So they are being targeted. But I think the key to that is that you, as a good daughter, are involved in your parents' life, and that you keep an eye out for what's going on. You talk to them about these things, and I'm not putting on you. People, people and families talk to their seniors in their life, friends, whatever, and ask them, "Hey, did you get a call about this thing? Hey, I just heard about this thing where these romance scams. They're huge. Romance scams may not be as many, but they take more money than any other. We had one just the other in the last 6 months reported here, $750,000." Taken in a romance scam. Another one's $455,000. Crazy amounts, because they believe this person. They're lonely sometimes. They want this person to talk with them, and they say they're in another country or whatever, and they need money to do whatever. They're getting them involved in these crypto scams, and people. I don't know anything about crypto.
Yeah.
Imagine if you're 84. You're like,
Yeah. How do I figure this out?
Yeah. So I would just be vigilant about making sure what your parents and loved ones are into if they're seniors.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting because, as you mentioned, there's so many facets to what the BBB does.
Yeah.
And I would love for you to also share from your perspective, and there's a lot of accredited businesses, thousands of accredited businesses that see the value in it, but there's so much depth and breadth to what the BBB actually does, because this is a huge piece of it, and there's so much more. So can you share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, and I want to share a little bit about what we're doing with these podcasts and with the videos. I'm trying to use good accredited businesses to be the experts in industries where there could be consumer problems. And they can lead people, I think, in what we're trying to do, lead people away from the scams and bad practices to say, hey, I need to choose an accredited business because there's a vetting that went on there.
Yeah.
They're accredited for a reason. If they don't live up to a certain standard, they're no longer accredited. So that's free for consumers. It's just a great opportunity for consumers to do that. I think that the BBB is offers so many things. I mean, and I think it's not just for, this is what happens all the time. People are like, I'm like, well, did you check out the business? Well, I did after I lost the money. A lot of people don't do it before, and the BBB is a great place to go. BBB.org, really good place to go for reviews, for complaints, and the BBB puts them up there. You see it all. You see this happened this way. Scamtracker is another thing. They get 81,000 complaints through Scamtracker every year. You can look at by region what's going on in your area. So if you get a call about utilities and say, hey, we're going to shut off your utility, hang up. But then maybe look at Scamtracker and see, oh, yeah, I'm not going to call them back because that's going around right now. That's a scam that's happening. So I'm not going to do the things that I might have done otherwise.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I think that's a great way to use Scamtracker, and also a good reason for people to report to Scamtracker so other people can see, what's going on in the area.
Yeah. Is there
I don't know
anything?
if I answered your question.
No. Yeah. Is there anything also that's sort of new and I don't want to say cutting edge in the world of scamming, but that's newer that you see on the horizon? Like, oh, this is looking like a new avenue that people should be aware of that we may not be privy to yet.
A lot of these scams are old. I always say they're old scams with new tricks. I mean, they take on a new way of doing things because of whatever's come up. Most of the scams, employment scams are huge. Job scams are huge right now, where you apply for a job, and it looks like it's the signs are there. I mean, it's a lot of money for a little bit of work, and you work remotely. Fake invoice scams, where you get this invoice again that says you owed a certain amount of money, and then you have to call if you want a refund, and of course you never paid. But with all these scams, what they're doing now is they're going to investments and crypto. So even the employment scam, all right, romance scam, same. Employment scam. It used to be you get hired, they wouldn't see you. It would all be done by text. They lead you to WhatsApp or something. You'd be hired. They send you a check for like $5,000, and they say, hey, use some of that money and set up your remote location with our guy over here. So you're going to send $400 over to this other place, and you keep a little bit, and then we'll get the rest of the money back. You send the $400, you find out 3 days later the check's bad. So your money's gone because their check is fake. But you don't find out until you've already sent your good money away. That used to be the scam. Now, for some reason, people are being talked into having to put money of their own into an account where they have to keep a certain balance. If they don't keep a certain balance, if it falls below, they don't get paid. So I don't know how it's working, but that's the latest thing. Romance scams, same way. Hey, I love you, and I'd love to come and visit you, and I used to be, send me money, and I'll come and fly to you. Not anymore. Now it's like, I want to share this great opportunity that I had. I made thousands of dollars, millions on this money. Here it is, and it's a crypto. It's a bogus Bitcoin.
Wow.
Basically, the new thing is these investments accounts, the crypto, putting money. I always say when it's a job, it's to make money, not lose it. You should never have to put money into a job opportunity. Yeah. The one last, in case if we don't get there, I say we see so many of these things that I would never reply to an email, never reply to a text, never answer the phone unless it's a contact. And if you get any of these things and you think there might be an issue, like whatever the bank was, go to the source. Always go to the source. Never reply through whatever means they gave you. Always go to the source. Go to your bank account. Go to your Amazon account. Contact them through there or some legitimate place to go.
No, very smart and good words of wisdom, because it is tough. I mean, they've gotten better and better, and they'll mail you things. They'll text you, email you, hit you every way, and after a while you're like, oh, it must be legit. And
we're even seeing business scams against businesses, like fake printer ink. Remember that old scam? There used to be fake printer. You get an invoice for printer ink for your business. $450, and people would just be like, oh, I don't, accountants, but okay, I guess I have to pay it. That's going on like now, big time. Wow. businesses complaining about that stuff.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a crazy world. And you get to be all a part of it.
Yeah.
But you get to say, you're
I
like
get to scare the heck out of people every day.
Yeah, we get to throw a cape on you, and you get to go save the day and prevent people from losing all their money.
Yeah.
But it's such a valuable resource and such a great tool that the BBB has you here. So thank you for doing all the great work you do.
Thank you.
It's what we do. It's what we do. Well, part of the Leadership Lowdown is that I love to ask a series of fun questions.
This is what I didn't want.
I know you didn't. But if we didn't, then it wouldn't be the Leadership Lowdown, and then people would be sad because they're expecting
Bring
to hear
it on, Jodi.
Okay, let's do it. Okay. What's your favorite word?
Mahogany.
I love that. Okay, Jake, our producer, is laughing right now because that's the freaking funniest answer we've heard. Jake, I know off camera, is that the funniest answer we've heard?
That's my biggest laugh.
That's the biggest laugh. You got an audible chuckle out of Jake. I love it. Mahogany. Okay, I love this. What's your least favorite word?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. Juicy. It rhymes with Ducey. It used to be Juicy Ducey. Okay.
Juicy.
Yeah,
okay,
I didn't like the nickname. So.
I see a whole new podcast.
Yeah.
Juicy Ducey.
I shouldn't have talked about that.
Yeah, I'm so loving this. Okay,
I
won't go there. I won't go there.
Yeah.
For you, Joe, what turns you on spiritually, emotionally, creatively? Like, what brings you to life?
You know what? I think this is gonna sound so freaking corny, but I think it's really relating to people. When you get that relationship where you meet somebody and it's just that thing, and you get the endorphins going, like this person is cool, or I've found somebody who like we're in sync here as a friend, that is something that I think is really
just like you get
important.
with me, right?
Yes, I had that from the very beginning.
See, it was a connection at first sight, my friend. I love it. Is there something that just completely turns you off that you do not like?
Styrofoam.
Okay.
I do not like the sound of styrofoam.
Okay, well,
it's like nails on a chalkboard. I cannot.
But we didn't even get to what's your least favorite noise.
Oh man, well, it's a twofer. It's a twofer.
Okay, we got a BOGO on that one. I love it. Styrofoam.
Styrofoam. I can't stand it. Coconut. Don't like it.
Okay.
No.
So I will not bring you a coconut in styrofoam. Pie. That will not be what you get for Christmas this year.
I do like crust though if it's good. So
okay, we'll go there. What sound or noise do you love?
Do I love? Oh gosh, so corny. I like birds. I like birds chirping.
Okay.
Yeah.
Particular bird?
There's life outside. No, not really.
Just any birds.
Yeah, any birds.
Okay. Sound or noise you don't like?
Styrofoam. Sounds I don't like. Sirens, police sirens. Because you think they might be after me.
Yeah, you're like, are they after me, or is something bad about to happen? Something
the heart
not
goes
good.
a little bit like, okay, man, I'm back down to the speed I need to be.
Okay, that's good. Glad we're safe drivers.
Yeah,
it's important. If you had a profession other than your own and skill set aside, is there something you would have loved to have done? Or
architect.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Too much math, but architect. Yeah, I love designs. I love buildings. I love. When I was a kid, we used to take these trips, and I had a little Polaroid shooter. I would take pictures of the downtown area. I mean, they were all on beaches and stuff, and I would have my thing.
Yeah, you're like, I'm getting the
buildings in the downtown area that I thought were so cool and how they were placed and where and Well,
being from Illinois, have you done the architecture tour in Chicago?
No, I didn't do that. I did the cruise. I did the boat. It was called the Booze Cruise though, so it wasn't the same.
I think you took a different cruise than what I'm referencing.
But they did show things. Like, there's a Tribune building, and this happened over here.
Okay, but you were schnockered, so that doesn't count.
No.
Take the architecture tour because it's super, super cool. And they give you the whole history. It's really cool.
All right, cool.
Anyway, just because I like it too.
Yeah.
Thought you might like that. Is there a profession that you think would be just dreadful for you?
I think, I don't want to say it. I think that I think certain kinds of sales wouldn't be good for me.
Yeah.
Because I don't think
you're so personable.
Well, but I'm not. I would have a hard time trying to sell something that I didn't fully believe in.
I'm with you on that. I could never do that.
And I don't know if I could fully believe in a lot of things. So, I mean, of course, the BBB I can.
Yeah, you're like,
that's right.
Let me tell you why I can't.
Right, but I think sales and I'd be like, oh God, I feel bad for people many times. We go to timeshare presentations a lot of times, and we always say no. My wife's always a bad guy, but we get these trips out or whatever it is, like to Hawaii.
Yeah.
But I always have a feeling for the person who's selling it because I know what they're trying to do here, and they're trying to make a
you're
little bit of
working
money
so
on me,
hard
and
at
they got a
this.
family, and
Yeah.
Kathy's like, my wife. But, so I'm usually
I love it that you
I'm
bring
usually-
her to be the bad guy.
Yeah, I'm usually the softie, but no, I don't think so at this moment. But yeah, I wouldn't be a great sales guy because I tell them why they probably didn't need it right now based on their income.
You're like, listen, this is
Yeah,
not a
this is
logical
lot.
choice.
Yeah, you're gonna really.
Oh, well, I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. And if heaven exists, what would you love to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
It's about time.
Oh, that's
Glad to see you.
okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we're hoping that's like a long time away, Joe
Yeah,
Ducey.
yeah.
We got a lot of scams for you to help handle.
Yeah.
That's got to be
Even
many
at
years
100,
from
it's
now.
about time. I'm glad to see you.
We'll take that. We'll take that.
right.
With that, to wrap us up today, Leadership Lowdown, piece of wisdom, advice, a tip, anything that you could give to our listeners or viewers that you think would be helpful for them to know.
I think that when it comes to scams, I think the thing that I said earlier, and if you didn't catch it, I think is really the key to all this. It used to be we'd look at, hey, is this the real email or not? How do I decipher it? What are the things to determine if it's a text that's real or not? Forget all that. Just assume they're all bad and go to the source.
Okay.
That's the key. I mean, and then you avoid all these things. If you get a phone call, don't talk to them.
Yeah.
They will leave a message if it's important.
Yeah. They'll find you. They'll find you the legitimate way if there really
You
is
do
something
not
there.
want to get involved in a conversation. They're much more savvy than you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great advice. Well, thank
Thanks.
you so much for being
Yeah.
a part of the show. And thank you for tuning in. And with that, this has been the Leadership Lowdown. My name is Jodi Low. Thank you for joining us. Remember, new episodes of the Leadership Lowdown are released every Thursday. So you can catch us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to your podcast, you'll find us. Thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, leaders are learners, so stay curious and keep leading with love.
And you can catch the latest Joe Knows Better podcasts where you find podcasts. Had to get that in there.
Yeah, of
quickly, just to
course.
get your audience in
Yeah.
there as well. Okay.
Yeah, do what you gotta do.
Wherever you get podcasts.